Okay, leaving part one behind us, we're gonna continue on with part two. We're gonna pull out on the main road here, and we're gonna come to the world famous flagpoles. Especially in the wintertime, you're gonna hear a lot of fishing reports of, hey, I was catching crappie, or I was catching bluegill, or even bass and pike off the flagpoles. Those are the flagpoles. It's pretty much a very popular spot and an easy place for people to get their bearings down. We're going to make a hard left, and we're going to be looking at what used to be the actual main entrance to the park. This is going to be heading into the actual main part of the park. This is where the memorials are. This is where the Nike missile is on display. And the row of trees for fallen soldiers is. This is actually the main part of the park. You'll look to the right and you'll see a Nike missile monument there. I'm not exactly sure why we have one here. There was 22 of these sites around the Chicagoland area protecting our skies. This one happened to be on a state park, so I guess that's why we have it. Just past the Nike monument is the playground for the kids. If you got them with you and they get anxious, this is a place to take them. Okay, well, after the Nike missile and the playground equipment, you'll come to a right-hand turn that's got a pretty large parking lot in it. It's the biggest parking lot in a park that I know of. This is also, if you've got a boat, you're probably going to be spending most of your time. This is where the boat launches are. There's one on one side for Center Pool and South Pool, and one on the opposite side for Clear Pool, since there is no direct water access between the two areas. In between the two boat launches is a board that's got some of the regulations posted. It's got the size and bag limits of fish. This particular sign you need to pay attention to if you have a boat. They used to have a 10 horsepower max regulation on this lake. They went ahead and lifted that and said if you have a boat with a larger motor on it that you could operate it on the lake at no wake. You need to pay attention to that, because if it becomes a problem, they will reinforce the 10 horsepower max, and then you'll have to have a 9.9 or smaller on your boat, and we all know that's no fun. Standing on the pier for Center Pool, you can see the trees in the park. These trees were planted in remembrance of fallen soldiers. Some of the trees have died, so you'll just see a plaque with no tree, but most of the trees will have a plaque at the base saying who it's in remembrance of. This is just an overview of Center Pool. It may not look it, but there's actually a lot of water to fish here. There's some really cool depth changes, a lot of nice drop-offs. You can go from shallow weeds to 14 feet of water pretty quickly. It's overall a really neat place to fish. Here you can see the dike that separates Center Pool from Clear Pool. A lot of people fish this dike. Number one, it does go all the way to the railroad tracks. And number two, you can fish both sides. You can walk the shoreline, stop in it, wherever you want, take your casts, and then you can go to the opposite side and fish Clear Pool also. So you get twice the shoreline for the amount of effort. Okay, this is North Pool or Clear Pool. Some people call it Clear Pond. It's the farthest north body of water in the main part of the park. This lake has got way different characteristics than most of the rest of the park. It's clear, a lot less weeds, it's a bit deeper. It almost seems like a glacier lake you'd find up north. The cool thing is this body of water has a very dense population of smallmouth compared to the rest of the lake, which makes it pretty cool. If you like catching the bronzebacks, this is a body of water you want to fish. There is a reed bed in the middle of the lake. Not quite the middle, but you get the idea. It's a sunken island. Fishing in the spring on the outsides of that sunken island can be pretty good. For the most part though, don't just key in on that spot. There's a whole lot more to this lake than meets the eye, and there's a lot of good fish to be caught. Okay, leaving the boat launches behind, we're going to come up to basically a nice little drive. This is a road that'll take you around to the other side of the park, eventually taking you to State Line Road. It's a pretty nice drive and a lot of fun. Eventually, as you're driving down this road, you'll come to a part where there's a couple turnoffs. The one is for the bike trail that kind of parallels the park. It takes you into Burnham, and I think the other way it might take you into Eggers Woods. I'm not real sure, I've never taken it. The other turnoff, you'll come to a gate. Don't be afraid, you're allowed to walk in there. That's actually the old Nike site. That's actually where they had the buildings and the silos and all of that. It's all torn down now. About the only thing you'll see is some parking lots that are pretty much overgrown. Eventually this road will bring you around to another parking area. This is the north side of Clear Pond or Clear Pool. The road's taking you full circle around. We're actually, you can see off in the distance the dike that we just looked at that separates the two bodies of water. I'm going to try to zoom in here and show you there is the boat launch, you know, for Clear Pool that we just left. As I make the drive through here, it'll kind of put in perspective on just how much water is here. There's a lot of water to fish. It's a little deceptive, but there's quite a bit of water. And then we'll come to the infamous railroad tracks. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it a lot. You'll see my truck parked here quite a bit. This is an area I actually like to fish. And when you see the expanse of Long Pool or Long Pond, you'll see why I fish it. You can park here. And you can see there's a little gate there where you can walk through. This gives you access to Long Pond, Clear Pond, Center Pond, and South Pond, all at the same time. So you get a good bang for your buck walking these railroad tracks. Do keep in mind they are active. They very seldom bring anything through, and the conductor knows there's people there, so you know, don't panic, but they are active railroad tracks. And with this also we'll end part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. Have fun.